Okay, folks, we're just at Sluggo. I wanted to do that because I want to just show you where we're at. And everything should have been fine. You did have to deploy speed brakes, and I sure did. To have to stay on profile and target speed. But you can see we're at 243, about descending through 9,000. Everything's looking good so far. And you can see our 15 nautical mile ring right there. That's a good indication that we really need to be slowing to our upspeed, which is probably about 220 knots, it looks like. So 220, as we get a little closer, I'll slip the ICAS over. But you can see, hopefully I don't bother you with this, the airport is somewhere over there. You can't see it. Well, maybe you can, but I'm pointing to it on the screen, and it's over there in the corner, but I can't see the airport. I can see the island. Oh, there's the island. But no airport. So sit tight, relax. We're at 8,000 feet. Those of you, transition altitude taking effect right now. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to go through the chime and just chime the cabin, let them know we're through 10,000. We're going to be landing soon. Just one quick check, and then no more flows until the after landing. Now it's just really concentrating on our plan, or executing our plan. And you can see, unable to maintain VNAV descent. I'm just going to clear that. I know. And I'm going to flip over to the ICAS and just show you what happened. I did not turn those off. It did it automatically. So again, you don't have to worry about that in this aircraft. It does it. It's pretty neat. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit, and you can see what we've got. Now we've put those rings around, remember? There's a 15 nautical mile ring, there's our 5 nautical mile ring, and there's our 3 nautical mile ring. That 15 nautical miles, I really want to start slowing down. Should have a descent profile here. Now I could open up the speed window and slow down myself. But you can see, if I click the likes page, 210, 250. So it knows we've got to hold 210 over here. But we need to be at about 250, about 15 nautical miles or 30 nautical miles. Good old thunderstorms over here, folks. That's pretty nasty stuff. And now is my mind thinking, okay, if we're doing a missed approach, now what's going to happen? Yuck. We want to stay away from those cells. But again, we're going to climb hard right, 4,000 feet, over to on bed. Okay, we're coming right up to 6,000 feet, 6,900. We're set for 5. And we're going to go ahead and descend to 26. So I'm going to bring this all the way down to 26. Or we'll just go 20. That's on the other side. There she goes. 26 set. Down through 6,000, we're approaching our first 15 nautical mile ring, and we're about 20 knots over our maneuvering speed. So we're pretty darn good. We're in good shape right now. I like what I see. The airplane's on profile, on speed. We're hitting 6,000 feet. So I like it. Coming through Avaki, 095 on the heading. Looks good. Got the airport in sight. Well, not the airport, but the island. Island is in sight. Looks VFR underneath this little cloud deck. It's definitely a few clouds down here. And we got the winds, headwinds. Remember, high threat. It's going to be obviously traffic. If we were really flying, it'd be traffic in a small runway. And that is still a threat for us, and then terrain on the opposite side. So as I get closer to the runway here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flip this over to terrain. Now, if you're with a first officer, I'd say, okay, you get the radar, I'll get the terrain, we'll be good to go. Definitely at this airport, it makes a lot of sense. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the ICAS over. You can see I flipped ICAS over, and then I'm going to take it one step further and go VSD. So I would like to see my descent profile. Now you can see, you can go, holy cow, Jason, that is cluttered like nobody's business. And you're correct. That is cluttered, but you can see it blown up. It's real nice, and I like to do that because it helps me. It helps me get a good visual profile of where I need to be on speed and on altitude. And you can see it's going to let me know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be right about 2,600 feet here, and should be slowing down about 20 knots. So that's good stuff. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, Raj. Looking good at 4,200. Oh man, my back is hurting. I hurt my back, folks. I'm sorry. What did I do? I plugged in a compressor. Can you believe it? A nail gun compressor. I was building shelves in my new house. Don't get old, folks. Okay, enough of that. 15 nautical miles. We're about 5 nautical miles away. And really, I'm going to want to start slowing down right now. So I could open up that speed window and say, all right, why aren't we slowing down? It's only 20 knots. So I think I get this thing configured pretty good. But if you did want to open that speed window, you could. And get the thing slowed down. That's up to you. I'm going to see what this thing does. Why not take it through its paces? Let's try it. And then also, I'm going to go ahead and reset the altimeter. I'm going to bring it all the way down to 0. That's pretty dangerous. That's procedure for RMP approach. Now, we're coming up to Aviki. We're coming down to 3,000 feet, and we're doing to 240 knots. I should start seeing it leveling off very soon, and the speed coming back. Speed's still up at 240. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see what happens here. There's 2,600, and there's the descent. Now there's 2,500 feet. Let's see what happens to the aircraft. And we're pitching up a little bit. Speed's going to come up. It's saying we need to hit a lesser at 1,700. So let's take a look out the nose. Speed is now hitting some turbulence and some bumps. That makes things a little interesting, doesn't it? Probably in a little cell, if I were to guess. That's just the convection. It's a normal convection. Okay, lesser coming up. I want to get this aircraft configured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch up the airplane, kill the autopilot, to cancel it, and I'm going to pitch up just a little bit. I'm going to take the flight controls, and I'm going to slow it down. And as I slow it down, it says autopilot disconnect. That's what I want. Okay, I'm going to bring up the speed. Now I'm going to go flaps. There she is. Okay. I got flaps coming down. Flaps are down 1. Dropping the gear. I'm going to arm the auto speed brake. And I'm actually going to go up on the overhead and just do that. And I'm high. But you can see. Okay, gear down, 3 green, flaps set. Now I'm high and I'm fast. Definitely not what I wanted to do on this aircraft, but that's my own stupidity because I didn't do what I wanted to do. Check. Now, 1,000 feet, I should normally do a mist. And I might. Okay, flaps coming down. Flaps 20. Now, folks, 500 feet, check. Flaps coming down 30. Good. Throttle's coming up. Check. Looking good. Good. I'm trying to trim it. Looking good. 100 feet. Throttles are idle. Pitch up just slightly. There she is. Firm landing on the deck. Speed brakes. Reversers. Looking good. 100 knots. 90. 80. Okay, off the reversers. Stowed back. I'm on the brakes.
200. 150.
70 knots, 60 knots. Ugh. Well, that was awesome. So, the good thing about simulators is that I'm going to taxi this way. Now, the hardest part about the flight is right here. Let me just taxi over here really quick and then we'll do an after. I was just pushing that engine up, folks. Give me a little more oomph on the turn. Alright, there we go. Settle this back down. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to hold the way we are. I want to kind of bring up the throttles. Not the throttles, the flaps. And we're going to do sort of an after landing checklist, and I'll show you why. Now, that landing, the approach was a joke. And I'll tell you why. It's because I didn't do what I wanted to do. Because I was... Oh, I said, let's see what happens. But don't make that same mistake I just made. I get high and fast. What did I say I wanted to avoid? Now, technically speaking, I should have went around. And I'll tell you why. At 1,000 feet, I wasn't on profile. Well, I was on profile, but we were off on speed. We were 186 knots. We should have been at 130 knots. So that's my fault. I should have went around. Don't do what I did. And technically, I wanted to see. I wanted to say, hey, can this aircraft get down when you're high and fast? And the answer is yes. It's still not a good... Again, that's not what you want to do. Flaps are coming up, so I'm going to do an after. Bring all those flaps up. There they come. This way, when we taxi, we don't hurt the flaps or anything like that. You want to keep your landing lights on here. Speed brakes good. Go ahead and throw the speed brakes. Speed brakes are stowed. Auto brakes, go ahead and throw those off. And the lighting, we're going to have to keep the same until we figure out. There's our gate assignment there. I'm just going to put on the brakes a little bit. Touch them again. taxi in this thing. That's a really small for this aircraft. Probably should have gone down on C, maybe. That's another thing. That was my plan, is to get on C and do it, huh? That's right. Alright, now I'm just going to go on the overhead after I turn this thing. And I'm going to shut off the landing lights. One, you don't want to blind people. Lights are off. I'm going to throw the strobe off. Okay. I'm going to turn on the APU. Just give me a second. Let me park this thing. This is one of the areas we need to be really paying attention to right now is parking. I got to redeem that landing. That was terrible. Try to swing it wide. I'll come in on it. There we go. There, bus. Alright. Well, I'll throw the brakes on. Alright, we'll set the brakes. Let's just finish our after landing checks here. Anti-ice. Be off. You can see the anti-ice. We're just going to throw them off because we don't need them now. Okay. Flaps up, we've got that. Lights good, engine anti-ice good. Now let's go ahead and do a shutdown. Alright, so parking brake, we've set that fuel control. Now, are we going to do that? No, because we need electrical. So we're going to have to fire up the APU. Throw to start. Now, as we do that, go to your systems. And I'll throw the ICAS out because I don't want it. You can take a look at your status, and you can see the APU fired up. And then once the APU comes online with electrical, you can go ahead and shut this thing down. Now I'm going to go ahead and shut down number 1 or number 2, and I'll let the folks get to the cargo bin. Okay, seatbelts are coming off since we're at the gate. Hydraulic pumps. You can see the hydraulic pumps. We're going to have to throw those off. So you go right engine, that's on fault. Throw it off. Throw that left off. Good to go. And then your electric pumps are going to come off as well. We don't need any hydraulics on. All of our pumps are coming on the off. There it is. APU is lit. Now let's go ahead and connect our APU on. So you got APU on, the battery is on, IFE is on, APU gen. Let's go ahead and shut down number 1. Number 1's closed. And that is it. Okay, you would go seatbelts, IRS, flight deck door, fuel pumps. Well, we got to keep the fuel pumps on because of the APU. So let's go ahead and just throw on, keep that, throw that off, and those are off. We'll keep that one on because the APU is running. Okay, beacon light, we're going to go ahead and throw those off now. Keep our nav lights on, flight director off, transponders on standby. And let's go ahead and check the transponder really quick. TARA, and we'll go to standby on that. And that is the shutdown checklist. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. One really quick thing on the briefing is, like I said before, don't do that. At 1,000 feet, I should have went around, and that's my mistake. Twofold. One, I want to see what the airplane would do, and of course, it's going to go high and fast because it's not really programmed to do an RNAV approach. Now, when you guys get it, I'm sure you can pull it up. It'll fly at profile perfect. But when we have to enter it in manually like that, probably won't do it well. And that's not just this aircraft, that's every aircraft. You're never supposed to do that. So what I should have done that would have been better is put the aircraft slowed it down much quicker, and then got the flaps out. Probably at that 5 mile mark, I would start saying drop flaps 5, at least the 5 mile mark. Get the gear down at that 3 mile marker, and then you're in. But it happens fast. You can see that it happens fast. But I hope that this segment, or this total lessons, you've learned something. I hope you've learned this aircraft a little bit on how to fly it. Maybe not in crazy detail like we go into at Angle of Attack, but if we have enough requests, we may do Langwork style flights on this. But I'll tell you right now, if you like long haul flying, this is the aircraft for you. And you like the technology. It's a beautiful airplane where you can skip, and that's another cool feature I didn't show you, but you can skip waypoints. So you could go skip to here, and you can click it, and the airplane will go right to that waypoint. Configured. Really nice feature, so you don't have to sit there for 18 hours. Really cool aircraft, though. I really think you'll enjoy it. Please go to Quality Sims, check it out. Comments are welcome. Definitely contact me at Jason at AOA 737. And that's on Twitter and Facebook. I'm on both of those things. I'd love to chat with you guys a little bit more and see how you're doing with this aircraft. I do enjoy it. It's a fun bird, and I definitely recommend to buy it. So until next time, throttle up.